What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a preview for the Spring Premier auction over at LCG Auctions. I've covered their auctions in the past, both previews as well as final price results. Bidding starts as of yesterday when this video goes live. I'm filming this the same day, March 8th, that it goes live. It hasn't gone live yet, but it will be, I think, by the end of today. So I wanted to kind of give y'all an early look at the items available. There are lots of different toy lines, not just Star Wars. I picked out a few of them, but there's He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, all graded. Lots of really rare, high-grade stuff. As it relates to Star Wars, it's really early card backs, 12 and 20 backs, and then Power of the Force. So there's nothing in between. No Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi type of items. But there are some beauties in here, as you can see by this thumbnail. So LCG Auctions charges 20% buyer's premium. They do not accept credit cards. You have to pay by either check, Zelle, or Venmo. So just be aware of that. And the startup process in terms of starting your account is a little annoying. It takes a little while to get that set up. But once it's set up, you're free to bid. And I've seen some prices, both high and low. So it's worth watching some of these items if you're looking for anything. I've got 2 super chat thanks to give out. The super chats are on the bottom of my videos with the little heart icon. And several of you have been sending those as a way of saying thanks for videos you like, and I really appreciate you guys doing it. The 2 latest folks, Jim Walsh, he's a Patreon supporter and a friend of mine. Thank you, Jim, for the super. And then Cameron Cornelius, he also sent me a super from the UK. So shout out to both Jim and to Cameron for sending me supers for some of my recent videos and for everyone else who's done so here lately. I really appreciate the channel support. All right, so here is an incredible item. This is a 12-back A telescoping saber Luke Farm Boy, and believe it or not, there are 2 different ones in this auction. This is an AFA 85 with the clear view label up top, card 85, blister 85, figure 80. The starting bid on this one is still way below what the fair market value is, but this is a starting bid of $5,000. And then they have a second one that's another unpunched example. This one is graded AFA 80 plus, and as you can see, the inner filament for Luke's lightsaber is fully extended inside the blister. So that's kind of a cool feature, since most of them are pushed up inside the saber hilt. So you can see there, the inner filament is all the way out. So what an incredible item. And again, both of the starting prices on both of those is well below market value at $5,000. All of these auctions in 16 days. So just be aware of that. And it looks like it's still, the lot is still closed. Bidding is not allowed yet. It's in preview mode right now. But I think by the time this video airs, the auctions will be live. LCGauctions.com is the website. I'll include a link in the video description. You want to go ahead and make sure to set up your account quickly before it does take a long time to set up the account, a few days, because they kind of charge your credit card like $1, make sure it goes through. You know, it's a little weird. It's not like the traditional sign up for a new account, but it does take a day or 2 for that to kind of go through. Next up, we've got a 21-back B Boba Fett AFA 85. 85, 85, and 80 are the sub-scores on that one. This is a punched example, no price sticker. The starting bid on that one, again, is very low at $2,500. So if you want an early Boba Fett, there you go. Here is a 12-back C Darth Vader AFA 80. And what it mentions here in the title is Fedco Collection. So this is kind of an interesting thing. This item is hobby fresh and part of a single owner collection made available for the very first time. In the late 1970s, the consignor was a manager at a West Coast department store chain called Fedco. With Star Wars mania already underway, he secured a handful of action figures from the back of the store before they hit the shelves. So that sneaky bugger grabbed them out of the case and put them away and put them and never to be looked at again for 45 years, and then he sent them in to be graded. And this is just an incredible item. and 45 years ago is when this happened. So this is a beautiful unpunched Darth Vader, and I'm not including everything in this auction. There are a lot more to go through, but I'm just showing you some of the highlights, and the starting bid is only $250 on that one. He also, same seller, also had a 12-back C Han Solo large head graded AFA 80+. This one also has an archival case, as you can see there. The Vader also has an archival case. So this guy really has spared no expense in terms of getting these graded and making sure they're in pristine condition. Beautiful crystal clear blisters. Starting bid on that one's $350. He also had this is a different consignor apparently, since it doesn't say Fedco collection, but this is a 12-back C AFA 80 Princess Leia. Look how beautiful that Leia is right there. Just gorgeous early card backs, 12 and 20 backs throughout this auction. 12-back C AFA 80. The starting bid on that one is $200. Also had a 12-back C Sand People AFA 80+. AFA 80+, and this one is a punched example with no price sticker, and it looks like it maybe had a price sticker on there originally, so very light litho wear or scuffing on that one. There was also a Yoda 32-back B, so I was incorrect. I believe this is the only Empire Strikes Back example that is in this auction. This one got an AFA 85, and the starting bid on that one is $500. And then it moves over to the Power of the Force line. So it didn't really have any other ESB card backs, no Return of the Jedi or Tri-Logos or anything like that. So if you don't collect those, you can skip this auction. But if you're into Power of the Force and early card backs, there you go. This is this one says, I think this one has the incorrect label as uploaded as part of this, but this one is an AFA 80+ yellowed blister Amonamon. So I think they just pulled the wrong label, because there is an Imperial Dignitary as part of this auction lot. So it's just an error by the auction loading process. But beautiful unpunched example. This one has the kind of flying saucer UFO type of hang tab. Beautiful unpunched example of a Monomon yellowed blister, and that one is an 80+ grade. Next up, there is a harder to find Luke Skywalker on the Power of the Force card back. That one's a little tricky to find. It's a little bit more rare than maybe even some of the last 17 figures. This one is a punched example, no price sticker, graded AFA 80. And here are the sub-scores on that: 80, 90 for the blister, and then figure score of an 85. So that's a really nice example of Luke X-Wing. Here is a gorgeous clear blister Power of the Force Imperial Stormtrooper. You can be sure that this one's going to go for a lot of money. It's an unpunched example, clear blister, and it's an AFA 80, and the sub-scores are 80, 90, 90. So 290 sub-scores on a clear blister Imperial Stormtrooper. So look how beautiful that is. That is as case fresh as it gets. And this one has something that you don't see too much, but you see it occasionally, and this is where they had a piece of tape holding the coin, the Power of the Force coin, in place inside the blister. And I think it's maybe because they're so big, and occasionally you see like some bubbling around the factory seal for some of those coins, and the coins sometimes would slide into the air bubble. So that's not something that's to be worried about. I do see that occasionally for some of these coins where they factory applied a piece of tape and then they put the blister on top of that. But that is a gorgeous example of the Imperial Stormtrooper. Here is another one that everyone covets, and this is an AFA 80+ Luke Skywalker in Stormtrooper disguise. Stunning example. It is obviously yellowed blister, but it is unpunched with no price sticker as well. So AFA 80+ on that one. I would imagine that one's going to go for $1,500 plus, if not higher. The starting bid on that one is $250. Here's one that everyone really covets, and you can be sure that this is going to go for a lot of money. I would guess at least $8,000, if not closer to $10,000. It's an AFA 75, so maybe that holds the price back just a little bit. And Boba Fett on the Droids card back has come back down to earth a little bit. We've documented a few of those on eBay that have sold in that $7,000 to $8,000, $9,000 range. But this is a beautiful example. No price sticker. It is a punched example. AFA 75. The card got a 70, so I would imagine that maybe keeps the price back down a little bit. But again, we're talking about a very, very expensive variant. that folks love and would like to get to their collection. So maybe that card score of 70 holds the price back just a little bit, but it has two higher subscores, blister 80 and figure 85. So very desirable. Love the card art on that one. And then I wanted to show you just a few other kind of random sampling of the other toy lines available. There are a lot, okay? There are a lot of other toy lines, He-Man, G.I. Joe, and Transformers, so I'm only covering just the highlights. We have a clear blister Series 1 He-Man AFA 80. So this is the very first, I think, the very first He-Man figure available in terms of the earliest card back. And it's a clear blister AFA 80, same seller most likely also has a clear blister Skeletor graded AFA 80 plus. This is labeled with warranty and half boots. So there might be some slight variations to the figure, but that is a beautiful clear blister example. Here's an interesting one. The seller has a Man-at-Arms CAS 75 plus, and this is called a Mattel Archives sample. And so in this one it says the Mattel Archives sample, the leading theory is that this unseen example with warranty form but no comic book. So this is kind of pre-market example, and this was kind of sent to Mattel employees to be kind of shown as to what the figure is going to look like on the blister and during the production process. So before the mini comics were printed, these carded samples would give Mattel an early look at how the bubble and figure would look on the card and would present at retail. The Mattel Archives eventually made pieces available at their employee store as a perk for their employees. Can you imagine being an employee of Mattel? I would have bought every single one of these just to have those in my collection. And you can see there on the blister, it says, for Mattel employees only, not for resale. Yeah, right. Historical Archives product may not be suitable for child play. So how cool is that? That Mattel made those available to employees. So very, very cool. It was a yellow blister 75 plus Man-at-Arms. And then they also had another one for Stratos, the kind of eagle looking character. That one also got a 75 plus. So those are two kind of pre-production items from the original Masters of the Universe line. And then we had a G.I. Joe USS Flag graded AFA 85, highest graded example. I cannot believe that someone was able to send this in without it being damaged at all, and it comes back with an AFA 85. Let's see. Yeah, uncirculated 85. And you can see there it's got some damage on the lower left-hand corner. So I'm a little surprised that AFA gave that an 85, but it is an uncirculated designation as well. So that's pretty incredible. So if you're into the USS Flag and you have a lot of display space as well as disposable income, there is a graded AFA 85 USS Flag on at auction, and the starting bid price is $10,000. And I still expect that one to sell for quite a bit more than that. Here's one of my personal favorites growing up. This was Zartan, and it included the Swamp Skier. I had this growing up, and I played with this nonstop. If you guys remember, the figure changed color. He turned like a greenish color. Just a timeless piece of collecting history for the G.I. Joe line. And I mean, this brings back a lot of memories. I love this figure growing up. AFA 85, 85, 90. So highest graded example in the world for that one. And here's another set that I didn't have growing up, but I always wanted it. This is the Crimson Guard Commanders Tomax and Zaymot, graded AFA 85 clear blister as well. That is an awesome piece of collecting history. And then finally for the Transformers line, an AFA 80 Pepsi variant for Optimus Prime. This is a pretty hard to find option that was had like a Pepsi sticker on the front there. And they've obviously remade this and remolded this over the years, but this is the original from 1984, graded AFA 80. So if you're into any other kind of 1980s toy lines, they've got them all. Masters of the Universe, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and then, of course, early card backs for the Star Wars line, as well as some Power of the Force figures. So just wanted to give you guys a quick primer as to these auctions that are coming up. As if we don't have enough to spend our money on, with Hake's auctions also ending right around the same time. These auctions end on March 24th, which again is right around when Hake's is ending. So collectors' pocketbooks are going to be poor at the end of this month. And I think the timing really is kind of coinciding with people getting their refund checks if you get one. I do not get one. If you get a refund check, I think that's why they time these mega auctions to all end kind of around the end of March. Slap it on your credit card or slap it on, pay for it in alternate methods, and I guess you'll just have to wait for your refund check if you haven't gotten it already. So good luck out there. I'm focused on Hakes personally, but there are a couple in this auction that I might place a bid on as a kind of a whim, depending on how the auctions go. So as always, thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back soon.